Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So today I have another speed test for y'all, and this time it's going to be between the iPhone 12 on the left and the Samsung Galaxy S21 on the right. So these are both the devices that Samsung and Apple have released, and they should be the devices that you should mainly be doing a speed test between because they are very similar to each other in price and what they're meant for. So they're both around $800 USD, and that's why I decided to do a speed test between them. So on the left right here, the iPhone 12 has the Apple A14 Bionic chipset with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the S21 right here on the left has 8 gigabytes of RAM with the Snapdragon 888. So they both have the newest chipset for the respective companies, or the respective, respective companies, so Apple and Samsung. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a speed test between these. So if y'all have watched my speed test videos before, you already know how these go. First up, I do a boot up test, and then I go ahead and do an app loading test, and in the end, I do another RAM management test, and after that, I go ahead and do a Geekbench test. So let's go ahead and begin with our boot up test in 3, 2, 1. So let's go ahead and see which one boots up first. Okay, they both have their logos out, and we're waiting. So iPhone 12 is already open, and let's go and wait on the S21, which is taking a little while, and the S21 is open as well. So now that they're both open, we already saw that the iPhone just beat it. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video right here and get back to y'all once I get both the phones ready and they're both turned on. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so now both the phones are ready. They've both been turned on, and we can go ahead and begin our test. So as you can see, we have a selection of apps right here, and we're going to be testing those out. So let me go ahead and bring up the brightness a little more for y'all, and turn it down here. And let's go ahead and begin. Start with Snapchat in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that seemed like the animation was a tad bit faster on the S21, but they are separate animations. It's a little different on Android and iOS for that, so I'm not going to count that. Instagram in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it seems like the iPhone. Yep, the iPhone was a tad bit faster. Twitter in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it seems like the iPhone has beat the S21. Okay, YouTube in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and see. And it was the S21 for YouTube. Amazon shopping in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was the S21, but we did get into another screen for that. So Best Buy in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it seems like the S21. I'm going to go ahead and stop saying 3, 2, 1. I do get that it might be annoying for some people, so I'm going to stop. Let's go ahead and get into our games now. So we have 2 heavy games, pretty heavy games. They are a little harder to open, I guess. And then we have our normal basic games like Among Us, Smashy Road, Wanted, and stuff. And so they're probably going to be pretty easy to handle for both of these devices. So let's go ahead and begin with Among Us. Okay. Seems like the iPhone is going to beat it this time. And yes, the iPhone has beat the S21. The S21 is stuck on a black screen for some reason. Okay, so it's back. So the S21 had some issues right there, but it is back now. Let's go to Smashy Road Wanted. Okay. That's the iPhone right there. Just a tad bit faster. Let's go ahead and get out. Subway Surf in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so S21 is loading in first. And the final result, iPhone. iPhone takes the lead just by a tad bit, and it takes it in the end. Temple Run 2. Okay, loading in first. Already loaded, and that's the S21 for Temple Run 2. So S21 does take it on Temple Run 2. Now let's go to Dead Trigger 2. So these are a little heavier games, as I said. And let's go ahead and open it up. Boom. So already here on the play screen for the iPhone, so it takes it on that. And I'm going to click play at the same time. Okay, let's see which one loads in the game first. And that's going to be the S21 right there. As you saw, the S21 did load in a tad bit quicker. So let's go ahead and wait for this to load in completely. Okay. And boom, right there. So they both loaded in, and now we can exit out. So we have PUBG Mobile as our final game in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and see which one loads up first. So I did go ahead and update both these games before I did this test, because as you know, PUBG does seem to get a lot of updates, and I didn't want to have an update in the middle of a test. So we're going to go ahead and wait for that. Okay, so it seems like the S21 is loading in first. Nope, the iPhone just takes that out quickly for some reason. Just went ahead and said, nope, Samsung, I'm going to take that. And let's go to X out. X. Okay, so that was the iPhone 12 right there. So the iPhone 12 did manage to open up a lot more apps first. And so I'm going to give it for the iPhone 12 on the second test. So it's beat it in 2 tests already. And now we can go ahead and do a RAM management test. So let's go ahead and open up these apps. So nothing to see on Snapchat. I believe that wasn't a reload. So Twitter, no reloads. YouTube, going good for both the devices. Okay, so I believe that was a reload for both. Best Buy. No reload for the S21, a reload for the iPhone. Among Us, both reloaded it. So one has 8 gigabytes of RAM and the other has 4 gigabytes of RAM. But it seems like they're performing very similarly. So the iPhone managed to keep this game open, but the S21 didn't. Okay, so now they both failed in 2 apps. Okay, so Subway Surf. Now they're both reloading this app again. And so they both didn't manage to keep it open. Temple Run 2. Okay, so the iPhone kept it open. So that's 2 apps gone for the S21, but only 1 for the iPhone. Now let's go to Dead Trigger 2, which I believe both of them will probably have closed down already. Okay, loading, please wait. And yes, they have both reloaded the app. So PUBG Mobile is their final game. And the iPhone kept it open. The S21 had to reload. So even though the iPhone has 4 gigabytes of RAM, this comes to show that the iPhone definitely has better RAM management than the S21. And this is pretty normal. This has been going on for years now. iPhones tend to not have a lot of RAM. Before, like the last 2 years, they've only had like 2 when some other Android devices could already get 8. But you just saw there, the iPhone did win this round as well. So it's going to be 3-0 for the iPhone, 3-0 for the iPhone and Samsung. So the iPhone is taking the lead by a lot. And even in the final Geekbench test, if it does even win, it's going to be a 3-1. So the iPhone will still win, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and close out all the apps on both of these devices. Okay, and go to our Geekbench test. So let's go ahead and click Geekbench 5, and as you can see, we have 3.62 gigabytes of memory right there, and then I believe, I forgot where to see it from here, but this device has 8 gigabytes of RAM. So as you can see, we have our CPU test right here, and we're going to go ahead and run the benchmark on both of them right now. And let's go ahead and wait for these to finish. So I'm going to go ahead and not make y'all wait and pause the video right here. And once these are both done, I'm going to get back to y'all and we'll go ahead and examine the scores and see which one does win and I guess how big of a difference they have. So I'll get back to y'all in a little bit. So now, as you can see, both of the tests have been completed and let's go ahead and check them out real quick. So these results are pretty surprising. As you can see, let's go ahead and check out the iPhone results first. Our single core is going to be a 1605 and our multi-core is a 4052. So those are pretty high scores and that is to be expected. This is an Apple chipset and Apple's chipsets tend to get higher scores on these tests. So now let's go ahead and check out the S21, which has a 586 for the single core and a 3209. So let's go ahead and bring up the brightness a little. As you can see, it is definitely lower. It's almost 1,000 lower on this, and it's a third for the single core. So the iPhone has beat it by 300%, I guess. It's 300% higher, and so that these aren't the best scores. This might depend on the overheating or heating generally. So this device has heat. This device is a little warmer than the iPhone right here, which doesn't seem a lot warmer. And I did start these tests right after the I guess, the other test that I did, so that might be an effect to it. But as you can see, the iPhone has a really high score. So it's going to go to our history for these tests, and let me go ahead and show you a better score, which I had done in a environment where I hadn't used this device. So right here, as you can see, this is when it has completely cooled off and it's in a perfect environment. But since this should not be in a perfect environment and this should be in general use, this score right here is what is displayed for the iPhone, and the other score, which I did today, right there, is what you should be getting. Sorry about that. I did have a little tongue twister there, but that's okay. So from this, we can conclude that the iPhone has taken a 4-0 lead, and the iPhone definitely has beat out the S21 in this test. So the S21 did lose badly, but in the day-to-day usage, you probably won't see too big of a difference. So even though it won in this test, don't get concerned that in your day-to-day usage you're going to see a big difference. So don't worry if you're trying to buy this device. Don't be like, oh no, it just lost everything. Don't say that. It's not like that. In these tests, these are a lot closer to each other. They don't have too big a difference, and that's why even though it wins slightly. Maybe on this Geekbench 5 test, you already saw it did destroy it, but that is okay. That is what happens usually with Apple's chipsets. So I'm going to go ahead and give the win to the iPhone, as I said, and that will conclude the video. So if you haven't seen my giveaway video, go ahead and check the video out before this video, and go ahead and join the giveaway if y'all want to win something. And so that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.